So I want to talk about anti-derivatives, and I want to talk about the textbook. This is Stewart, version 5. It says the instructions are find the most general antiderivative, and then it's and this is from section 410, page 305. And then it gives f of x, all right? And then it gives f of x like this. Now here's the problem. An antiderivative means to go upstream. We have gotten very used at this point. If I tell you y equals 3x to the 7th, we are all very good at finding the first derivative. The antiderivative of y prime equals 21x to the 6th, though, it is 3x to the 7th, obviously. But the problem here is when you go upstream, there can always be a constant. So when you're finding general antiderivatives, we never know what else there is. And the notation here is weird because personally, when I think of it, if I want to find the antiderivative, I think of this as f prime. Does that make sense to you guys? But they don't label it that way. So what I would say is this. When you're doing problems like this, we have to have some notation in our heads because we need to write something here. And you can't write f of x here and then write 4x as the first term, even though the derivative of 4x is 4. Is everybody with me? Because the derivative of f of x is not f of x. There's a notation problem here. The way I would handle this typically is I would start with a note like this. Capital F prime of x is little f of x. So that when I start doing the antiderivative, f of x, all right, and this is a 4, I want to be clear too. I think of 4 is this way. I think of 4x to the 0 power. Does that make sense to everybody? So then an antiderivative is always up in order. So you always add a 1, right, to the power. So this is 4x to the 1, and then you always divide by the new power. Is a simple way to handle this. All right. On the next one, you're going to add 1 to x squared. You get x cubed over 3. You add 1 to the 3. You get negative 5x to the 4 over 4. And then you always got to end a general antiderivative that you don't know how far up or down the curve is shifted. So you always finish with a plus c. Now, everybody, I do want you to simplify these. Do not leave 4x to the 1 over 1. All right? We will write this like this. And most of the time, your answer books or multiple choice questions are going to write the coefficients like that. So I think the answer to number 2 in your textbook is 4x plus 1/3 x cubed minus 5/4 x to the 4th plus c. And we are so good at derivatives now, it does not take us much to check these answers. Make sure that little f of x is the derivative of capital F of x. So with that said, I'd like you to try the next 2, all right? And I'll pause this. And I think 6 and 8 are a little bit more difficult, okay? So try that, and we'll show how the answers go. All right, so again, for number 4 here, and I'm going to extend the page and lose the instructions, go to 100%. Again, I don't have to think about this much. We should be able to check our answers. We're so good at derivatives. So f of x, capital F of x, which means that f of x, little f of x is a derivative. Add 1 to the power. I get x to the 21st over 21 plus, I know it's 4x to the 11th over 11 plus 8x to the 1. I'm not going to write it this time. I'm not going to write x0. And then finally, we know that we always have to have plus c. Again, we don't know where this function is located, up or down, at this point, unless we're given a condition. Everybody, 6 is exactly the same thing. It is an increase by 1 of order. So 2x becomes 2x squared over 2. And this is the one that gets students. Add 1 to 1.7. It is 2.7. Divide by the new coefficient. It's 2.7 plus c. Multiple choice answer probably would be this, x squared plus Oh, gosh. Is it 0.19? That's 0.9. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm going to leave it this way. It's not great. It's a disaster, but we'll just leave it that way. All right, everybody. So what do you guys think the next step is on 8? Yeah, let's change it. We do not want radicals, guys. We are really good if we make these 3/4 and 4/3. Take the antiderivative. Add 1. I think it's x to the 7/4 over 7/4 plus x to the 7/3 over 7/3 plus c. Again, you will not be allowed to stop there. Remember, when you divide by a fraction, you get the reciprocal, everybody. I'm not going to spend time with this. We flip them. We should all understand why if we think about it. And there's the answer for that problem. Everyone, I can't stress enough how little I care for the notation of these in the book. But again, if I was doing this problem, and again, I'm an old math teacher, I would set some notation here that makes sense. All right? All right. General antiderivatives. When you start